It is the 23rd of July 1965 in London. Not in the smoky pubs or music clubs of Soho, but in Hampstead, a leafy bohemian neighbourhood on the north side of the city. The Rolling Stones are shaking up the airwaves, the Beatles are pushing boundaries, and England is buzzing with something new. The world is changing. Fast. In a quiet hospital room, a child is born. His parents name him Saul. His mother, Saul Hudson, is no ordinary woman. She's black, American, and entirely out of place in post-war Britain. She comes from Los Angeles with sharp talent and sharper instincts. A fashion designer and costumier with big dreams and the drive to chase them. Her work is bold, modern, electric. His father, Anthony Hudson, is English, an artist, quiet and inward. He designs album covers, draws, paints, thinks. He's not interested in fame, only in expression. He carries a kind of soft melancholy, the kind that often follows people who see the world too clearly. Ola and Anthony aren't the kind of couple England is ready for. Not in 1965. She's a black American woman. He's a white British man. In London, they find some freedom in creative circles. But even here, they draw looks, some admiring, others not. And soon things shift. They leave London behind and head north to Stoke-on-Trent. It's not a place people in fashion talk about. It's a working-class city, known for its pottery kilns and coal smoke. Brick terraces line the streets. It rains more than it shines. Glamour doesn't come here. But for Anthony, this is home. His parents live in a quiet suburb called Blurton, and as Ola's work begins taking her away more often, back across the Atlantic, Stoke offers something Saul: family, routine, a slower rhythm. So Saul is raised here, for now. He spends his earliest years in the Midlands, far from the fashion studios of LA or the art galleries of London. He plays on wet sidewalks, watches chimney smoke curl into the sky. His grandparents provide structure. His father draws quietly in the next room. Life is calm, sometimes cold, but filled with the small sounds of a house where art and solitude meet. The boy doesn't speak much, but he notices everything. He is mixed in a place that is not. British, but not quite. Black, but not quite understood. There are no other kids like him on the block. He carries it in his body, even if he doesn't yet have the words. The house is filled with music and sketches. British records spin on the turntable. Pencils scrape across paper. Saul listens, watches, absorbs. This quiet kid in Blurton grows up with a strange combination of order and restlessness. There's love in the house, but something larger is always missing. A pull, a tension, a spark. His mother still calls. She's working in Los Angeles again. Big names, bright lights, but for now Saul stays put. The smoke, the drizzle, the silence, they shape him. He's just a child in Stoke-on-Trent. But soon the world will know him by another name, Slash. The rain doesn't stop. Day after day, Stoke-on-Trent lies under a heavy grey sky. Drizzle on rooftops, puddles on pavement, the same streets, the same cold mornings. Inside the house in Blurton, Anthony sketches at the kitchen table. Saul sits nearby, colouring quietly. The radio plays low. Then the phone rings. It's Ola. Her voice crackles through the line, sharp and certain. She says Stoke isn't the place. Not for her, not for her son. The world is happening elsewhere, and she's already in it. A few weeks later, Saul and his father are boarding a plane. It's 1971. Saul is 6. He clutches a toy airplane, maybe a sketchbook. The flight is long, the windows reveal nothing but clouds. And then, suddenly, California. The door opens and it's like stepping onto another planet. Heat, light, noise. Everything smells different. The air hums, the sky is impossibly blue. Palm trees line the roads. The houses are low and wide and beige. No chimneys, no fog. This is Los Angeles. They settle in Laurel Canyon, where the hills are filled with musicians, weirdos, filmmakers, and dreams. It's not the glitzy Hollywood of movie posters, it's cooler than that. It's the 1970s creative underground. Think rusted convertibles, incense, and barefoot parties where the guests all have guitars. Ola lives here now. She's not just surviving, she's thriving. She designs clothes and costumes for the stars. Not background players, icons. David Bowie, Ringo Starr, John Lennon, Joni Mitchell, Diana Ross, Marvin Gaye. They pass through her world like comets, glamorous, brilliant, and sometimes broken. Her style is bold, draped, futuristic. She mixes Afrocentric flair with cutting-edge fashion. Her designs turn heads on stage, in studios, in photographs that will one day be called legendary. To Saul, it's overwhelming. The people are louder, the city is faster, and the sun never lets up. At school, kids sound different, they act different. He's British, black, quiet, and very much on the outside. But he watches, he adapts. He learns how to disappear in a room full of famous faces. Sometimes he goes with Ola to fittings or rehearsals. He meets musicians and actors without realising how famous they are. One day he's playing in the corner while Bowie adjusts his trousers. Another time he sits in a makeup chair while someone nearby discusses tour dates. It's surreal. But to Saul it's normal. He keeps moving. He's a blur in every room. Actor Seymour Cassell notices and gives him a nickname. You're always zipping around, kid, like a Slash. That's it, that's the name. From this moment on, Saul Hudson is Slash, but for now, he's still just a boy in a new world. His parents' relationship is crumbling. The house is full of art and noise, but not always peace. Sometimes he stays with his grandmother, where things feel safe, grounded. But even then, the rhythm of LA, its music, its madness, won't stop pulling at him. He doesn't know it yet, but something is already forming deep inside. A hunger, a sound, a need to express all of this chaos, this beauty, this confusion, not with words, with a guitar. It is the mid-70s in Los Angeles. The sun blazes hot every day in Laurel Canyon. The hills roll green and wild, wildflowers catching the breeze, while the city below buzzes with music and dreams. Streets curve and dip, perfect for racing on two wheels, fingers gripping the worn rubber handles. The frame is scratched, the tyres dusty, but to him, it's freedom. Every time he pushes off, pedals spinning fast, the world blurs behind him. The hum of the city fades, replaced by the roar of wind in his ears. He races down hills, bouncing over cracked pavement, leaping small ramps he builds from scraps of wood. The bike is his escape, his chance to be in control, to master speed and risk. But something else is pulling at him. A quieter force, a voice beneath the noise. Inside the house, his mother's record player spins. Bowie, Led Zeppelin, the Rolling Stones, fierce voices and fierce guitars fill the rooms. Shadows flicker on the walls as music moves through the air like electricity. Saul stops, bike leaning against the wall. He listens. He watches his father sketch album art and his mother sketch costumes. But it's the music he wants to hold on to. The thrum of a guitar string vibrating, the steady beat of drums, the raw power in a voice that's half scream, half whisper. One day, a guitar appears in the house. It's old, sunburst-coloured, its wood worn smooth from years of hands sliding along the neck. Saul picks it up. It feels heavy, alive. The strings buzz under his fingers, awkward and strange. But he's hooked. His fingers fumble clumsily at first. He makes noise, more noise than music, but he keeps going. Every chord feels like breaking through a wall. Every note is a new world opening. Around him, Laurel Canyon pulses with sound. Neighbourhood parties spill onto the streets. Neighbours strum guitars. Songs drift from open windows into the warm night. Saul feels the music inside him grow, tangled with his restless spirit and the speed he loves on his bike. They are two sides of the same thing: motion, energy, escape. But there's tension too. His parents' voices raise in quiet fights. His mother's glamorous life pulls her away more and more. His father drifts farther into his art. Saul sometimes feels like a shadow passing through both worlds, trying to hold himself together. Still, when he plays, everything makes sense. The bike and the guitar. They carry him beyond the small battles and big questions. The Sunset Strip, 1983, Los Angeles at night. The air smells like heat and gasoline. Neon signs buzz above darkened sidewalks, advertising names no one will remember by next year. The Sunset Strip stretches like a gauntlet. Clubs, bars, tattoo parlours and broken promises. Beneath it all, a heartbeat, rock and roll. This is where Saul Hudson comes of age. He's in his teens now, long hair falling into his eyes, a second-hand Les Paul slung over his shoulder. The BMX is gone. The guitar has fully taken over. He walks the strip at night, wide-eyed and hungry. Flyers plaster every pole. Motley Crue, Quiet Riot, Van Halen knockoffs by the dozen. Everyone's chasing the same thing: fame, fury, fire. And Saul? He doesn't say much. He just plays. He practices until his fingers bleed. Literally. He learns by ear, by instinct. No lessons, no theory, just repetition and obsession. He plays for hours every day, sometimes locked in a room, sometimes perched on a friend's couch with a cigarette dangling from his lips, always chasing the sound in his head. He joins a band, then another, then another. The names change. The lineups implode. Rehearsals happen in garages, basements, bedrooms, anywhere that'll let them crank the volume without calling the cops. There are girls, there are fights, there's booze, and soon, drugs. It's all around him, part of the deal. The strip doesn't offer you a warning. It pulls you in with a wink, then devours the weak. Saul isn't weak, but he isn't immune either. He starts partying harder, showing up at rehearsals hungover, but still shredding better than anyone else in the room. His style sharpens, aggressive, bluesy, unfiltered. He bends notes like they're screaming. There's fire in every solo. He's not the flashiest, he's the realist, and that draws people in. One day, a call comes through. A band needs a guitarist. A real one. Gritty, loud, dangerous. He walks into the room and meets them. Stephen Adler, his childhood friend on drums. Duff McKagan, newly arrived from Seattle. A skinny guy with a snarl named Izzy Stradlin. And the frontman, Axl Rose, a ticking time bomb in snakeskin boots. The chemistry is instant, explosive. Within minutes, Slash knows this is the one. They rehearse in dives and rehearse in hell. Gigs blur together, tiny venues with broken speakers and sticky floors. But the crowd, they feel it, every time. Something raw, something real. The strip starts whispering about a new sound. Not polished, not pretty, but dangerous. They call themselves Guns N' Roses. It's chaos behind the scenes. Fights, walkouts, blackouts, lost guitars, broken bones. But when they're on stage, something clicks. The energy is pure. The band becomes a beast. And Slash is the flamethrower. He plays like he's possessed. And then, finally, someone notices. The right someone. A deal, a shot, a studio. The album will be called Appetite for Destruction. They don't know it yet, but they're about to light the fuse on the biggest explosion rock music has seen in a decade. And at the centre of it, top hat low, cigarette burning, Les Paul snarling like a wild animal, is the kid from Stoke who never really fit in anywhere. The roar of the crowd hits like a thunderclap every single night. Guns N' Roses explodes onto stages worldwide. Their sound raw and unapologetic, a furious blend of punk attitude, blues soul and metal fire. The Appetite for Destruction tour is a juggernaut. pulling the band from sweaty dive bars in LA to sold-out arenas in New York, London, Tokyo and beyond. The tour bus is a battered home on wheels, a coffin and a sanctuary all at once. Inside, the air is thick with smoke and stale sweat. The walls are plastered with set lists, scribbled notes, and the scars of too many late nights. Guitar cases lie open, chords tangled like vines. Sleep is a rare, precious commodity. Jet lag gnaws at their nerves as they cross time zones like ghosts. They arrive in one city, rush through sound checks, race onto stage under searing lights, and then vanish into darkness. Mornings arrive blurred and brutal, hangovers, muscle aches, and the relentless pressure to keep going. Backstage is a world apart from the thunderous applause. Bandmates snap at each other over small things. A missed cue, a lost pick, a bad mood. The strain of endless nights leaks into every word. Tensions simmer, sometimes explode, but the music keeps them tethered. Slash is often the calm eye in the storm, his fingers flying across the fretboard, every note a spark of magic that electrifies the crowd. But off stage, the weight settles deep. The drugs, the booze, the relentless pace, they wear him down. He watches friends disappear into the haze, some falling into the abyss. Nicky Sixx, bassist of Motley Crue, becomes a dark mirror, a warning and a brother in chaos. Their paths cross often, sharing late-night confessions and the painful reality of addiction's grip. Yet when the lights hit and the crowd screams, Slash transcends it all. He's a force, wild, untamed, dangerous. The stage is his kingdom, the guitar his weapon. But the cost is steep. Relationships fray under the strain. Bandmates come and go, worn down by the pace or by their own demons. The dream they chase threatens to unravel. Hotel rooms become prisons, each one a little island of loneliness amid the chaos. Through it all, Slash never stops playing, because in the heart of the storm, the music is the only thing that feels real. Wembley Stadium, London. The world feels like it's breaking. Freddie Mercury, the electrifying, larger-than-life frontman of Queen, has passed away. The news hits like a gut punch, shaking the music community to its core. For many, Freddie was more than a singer. He was a symbol of fearless artistry, flamboyance, and raw human emotion. On April the 20th, 1992, a packed Wembley Stadium waits in hushed anticipation. The Freddie Mercury tribute concert is about to begin, a gathering of music's greatest, united in grief and celebration. Guns N' Roses steps onto the stage, but it's not the wild, unruly band the world once knew. The energy is charged with a solemn respect and a deep sense of loss. Slash, in his trademark top hat and leather jacket, grips his guitar. Across the field, Axl Rose's voice cracks with emotion. They launch into their cover of Bob Dylan's Knocking on Heaven's Door. The chords ring out, slow, mournful, but filled with fierce power. The crowd sings along, thousands of voices united in a tribute to a legend gone too soon. For Slash, it's more than a performance. It's a moment of reckoning. Behind the scenes, the band's fractures deepen. Years of tension, drug battles, creative clashes and personal wounds have taken their toll. The raw energy that once defined Guns N' Roses is slipping away. Soon after, the split comes. Public, painful, unavoidable. Slash steps away from the chaos, stepping into the unknown. He rides into a new chapter. Solo albums, collaborations, fresh bands. It's a chance to rediscover himself, his music, his purpose beyond the shadow of Guns N' Roses. He forms Velvet Revolver, a supergroup of seasoned rockers, and embarks on tours that remind him why he fell in love with music in the first place. Slash's guitar sings with renewed life, a voice unchained. The world watches as the kid from Stoke, who once raced on a BMX in quiet neighbourhoods, grows into a rock legend, scarred but unbroken, wild but wise. His journey is far from over, and the music, It will always lead the way.